All right, Shalom. All praise and glory be unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Basham Kakwadash, the most of the other apostles. Unto salutations to you, Akim, that's laboring. Shalom to you, Fiak Waf, that believe. This is from Blacklisted News. It is entitled, The Great Reset, the Global Elite's Plan to Radically Remake Our Economic and Social Lives. So, pretty interesting. You know, I never read it. So, I'm basically putting it up raw. But as soon as I seen the title, I was like, you know what? I had an idea where it's gonna go. So I'm just gonna, read it and go in the scriptures and, throw it up, because it's all a part of, prophecy, man. As far as concerning, Esau, being the ruler seat, and then the elites of Esau, the chief tribe, which is Amalek, they've been revealed. All right, and their power was heightened to the fact because of the secrecy they had. But the secrecy they had is pretty much gone, man. Everyone is keen to or awakened to the fact to know who the elites in this society are. So let's read it. It says, the Great Reset is upon us, or at least the powers that be are trying to bring it out. What was once a fringe conspiracy theory is now on display, plain as day for everyone to see. The economic, political, academic, and media elites around the world are leveraging the chaos, confusion, and restrictions on liberty from the COVID-19 lockdowns and using them to radically alter society around the world. What will this change look like? The global elites want to create a society of renters who own nothing, while also pushing a social agenda that would be unpopular with the unwashed masses and difficult to implement in a society with a broad ownership-based middle class. What this means is that you would rent not just your home, but also your phone, computer, car, though you probably will car share. The term for renting a car when you need one for an extended period and summoning one when you need it for a ride, and even the pots and pans you cook with. The flip side of this will be a radical transformation of the world economy. No longer will you have a job in the sense that it has traditionally been understood. Instead, you will work various and sundry gigs, all of which place you in a precarious position at any given time. You will receive a fee for services performed with no benefits, paid time off, healthcare, or anything else that the middle class in the West has become accustomed to. To facilitate the Great Reset, rural populations will have to be coerced into more concentrated population centers, since dispersed populations have too high a carbon footprint. The suburbs will be a thing of the past as suburbs and exurbs become more like cities. Mixed-use housing, where you and 500 other people live in a mid-rise condo hive with shops and work share spaces. The new version of an office on your dime, not your employers in the same area. So, pretty much, this is one more paragraph, I'm sorry. It says, the short version is that it's a total end to the American way of life, specifically the way of life of most of the Western middle class. The specifics, including the why, are a longer story that you're going to want to read if you want to be ready to fight against the Great Reset. So pretty much, people are woke to what's going on around the world and what's changing and rapidly changing before their very eyes. And more importantly, they got their eyes set on the elites of Esau, which are the central banking families. And they're aware of the New World Order. you know. So people are, people are waking up, man. I mean, the most people that's, not paying attention to what's going on at all would be Jake, so-called Negro Latino Native Americans, which are the Israelites. They're the ones that's in La La Land, for the most part. But this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14. And I'm going to start at verse 5. It says, well, I'll start at 4. It says, 5 is a good start point. It says, Yahweh hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. Yeah, man, for the most part, the rulers, which are the elites of Esau, they've been ruling for quite a while. They're the ones that finance the Atlantic slave trade. They're the ones that own everything in America. They're the ones that control the world economy. All right, and they're all Jewish. That's a fact, man. Look up the elite central banking families. They're all Jewish, man. They're all so-called Jews, man. That's a fact. It says, the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted and none hindered. He who persecutes, the people or smote the people is Esau, Edom. All right, the so-called white man, making it with their elites. They've hidden the people with continual strokes of oppression, man. All right, they trap you in and got these bond papers on you, especially the Israelites out there, man. But they control everything. They're still in that power seat, Now, this is verse 7. It says, the whole earth is at rest and it's quiet. They break forth into singing. It says, yea, the fir trees rejoice and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feathers come up against us. I'm sorry. And this is future prophecy, actually, when Esau comes down out of power. So this is really just prophecy. But part of it is going on right now, as far as, them losing their power, right? Verse 9, it says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirred up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It had raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. Yeah, because really, the whole community of rulers, they really don't like Esau either, man. Though they go along with his plan and way of living, they really don't like Esau. They know Esau is a devil, man. I'll be honest and just tell the truth, man. Verse 10, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Yeah, because you were the top, man. Head of everything. Still is. But everyone that know you, man, know what you about. They know who the central banking families are. People are very aware of that. You see? Verse 11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of the vials. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? Yeah, the word Lucifer means enlightened ones. But Esau is the enlightened ones on the left-hand side, because they get their power through the spiritual demon Satan, which is on the left-hand side of the Most High. And we get ours from the right-hand side through Yahweh Shai. Okay. And pretty much, they fallen from heaven because their secrecy is before the whole world. The whole world can see what they do, man. The whole world can see Esau destructive behavior on display. All the nations are crying out because Esau have raped, robbed, stolen everything from them as well, as far as the other heathen nations. And they tired of it, man. All right, and then you got missiles, or nations that have missiles that didn't have missiles back in the day, but they have missile capability now, so they're able to, have a show of force for themselves. This is the reason why Esau want really other heathen nations having missiles, but he wants to have it for himself, so he can be on the uneven playing field when it comes down to uh, so-called war or hostilities. All right. Verse 13, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, I will be like the Most High. Yeah, this is Esau, man. See? And speaking about Esau secrecy, let's go to Obadiah, man. Obadiah verse, yeah, that's a good one right here. Obadiah verse 5. If these came to thee, the robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they have not stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Well, first and foremost, it starts with the Most High Heavenly Father putting on the spirit of his servants to bring out your wickedness and to put it on display for the whole world to see. Excuse me. That's what it comes down to, man. See? It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Yeah. This is going to eventually happen to Esau. All the people that's in league or in agreement with Esau, they're going to turn on him and help destroy his beloved so-called capital city. This is Babylon the Great, also known as so-called America. They're going to actually turn on Esau, man, even his own kind. It says, verse 8, shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and the understanding out of the mount of Esau? Yeah, that's true, man. See, the Most High is on Esau trail, man. All right. The Most High is hunting Esau down. And once you know your prey, you know every move they're gonna make. So how much more, the hunter on high, which is really no hunt. It's just, I'm just saying that to use it as an example. The Most High know the works of every man, so there's nothing you can hide from the Most High. Verse 9, it says, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. See? And for all your wickedness you done, man. The whole earth is going to rejoice and be glad that you're put down. So that's something to think about, Esau. Back in Isaiah 14 and 15, it says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Yeah, that's where you're going, Esau, to the pit. They that see thee shall never look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble? I'm sorry, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. Yeah, man. This is the man that caused so much hell and destruction and loss of life. Well, it seemed like it wasn't no end of it because he was doing it so high, on a high level. It's the same man that's going to be brought down to the sides of the pit. See? Verse 18. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, everyone in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, they go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden underfoot. See? Esau, you got a hell of a judgment coming for you. You see? And that's why you Edomites walk around with that fear on your mind, because you know something's going to happen. Just look at all the shit you people done, man. I mean, it's really bad. It's really fucked up. I gotta be honest, it's really fucked up. Y'all done a whole lot, man. To all the nations, man. As far as Esau, Edom, your nation has done a lot to all the people, man. Okay? And that's why you're able to go across the world and do what you do, man. So you're not doing anything that's out of the norm. All right? You're doing things that Heavenly Father have set you up to do. All right, Romans 13:1, it says, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of the Most High. The powers that be are ordained of the Most High. Whosoever therefore resists the power resists the ordinance of the Most High, and they that resist it shall receive to themselves damnation. Yeah. You see, you got where nations, people have tried to take down Esau. Esau was set up to be in power and to rule over us and all the rest of the nations outside himself. All right, Esau's in the ruling class seat, man. Period. The Most High set them up to be in power. Period. All right, and you got to endure it, man. Verse 3, for rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. See? The powers that be, which are the elites, they're set up by the Most High, man. The Most High is the one to control them. So are you not going to be afraid of the Most High, knowing that He's the one that's in control? He controls good, bad, evil, all that. Think about that. Verse 4, for he is a minister, for he is the minister of the Most High to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid, for he beareth not the sword in vain, for he is the minister of the Most High, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. See? So he's carrying out what the Most High want him to do on the left-hand side. All right? That's why that's why it's so important to fear the Most High, man. Period, man. You're gonna learn, man. This is King David. It says, Psalm 17:13 says, arise, O Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Who is the wicked? Esau, Edom. See, that brings out the light, man. It brings out the light of the scripture I just read in Romans. All right. Let's go back to Romans and finish that up. The wicked, which is thy sword. Remember that. I'm at Romans 3 and 4. It says Romans 13 and 4 again. For he is the minister of the Most High to thee. For he is the minister of the Most High to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid, for he beareth not the sword in vain. For he is the minister of the Most High, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. Wherefore ye must needs be subject, not only for wrath, but also for conscience sake. So, seeing that Esau Edom bear not the sword in vain, and the Most High is the one that control them, what's important? Well, what's important is to keep the Most High's will number one. You know, they've been put in that position for a reason. You see, that's why the Most High said, "My thoughts are not your thoughts, and my ways are not your ways." You see, that's why it's important to fear the Most High. Anyways, with that, I'm gonna close. Lord willing, it was edifying to you, those of you that may have tuned in. Till next time, I say Shalom.